Hi guys, I'm Jocelyn, owner and founder of the Vagina Doc Physical Therapy and Wellness. Thank you so much for your interest in the program. So let me share with you why I am doing this in the first place. Well, I'm going to change the name, but I had met someone, her name, let's just say it's Rachel, and she had come to me with the complaint of feeling the sense that she's losing her identity because she used to be a runner and a very successful runner, and now she can't. And it's impacting her relationships, it's impacting her overall stress management and her fitness. So, a little backstory. So now she's a mother of two, and before she had children, she was a competitive runner. She would do 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, and she would do really well, and oftentimes winning her age group. And so she had her first kid, and through that first pregnancy, she ran the whole time. No issues with the first kid. Got back to running pretty shortly after. I think it was, just around that 3-month mark, and resumed, not immediately, but eventually got back into running and competing without any issues. Then she became pregnant again, and again ran through her pregnancy. Didn't really think that she had issues through her second delivery, but then when she went to go back into running around the 8-week mark, she described it being really difficult in terms of like overall tiredness and just totally feeling gassed with minimal running. But at the time, hey, that's normal. She just had a kid. So she dealt with it, and then she went on more runs and still didn't really feel progress. And then after 4, 6, 8 weeks of running, she started to feel worse, started to feel aches and pains in her body. Now at the time she didn't know that the urinary leakage and the worsening of that was a problem, but that was definitely something that was in the back of her head. She just didn't know. So then she eventually gave it up. And one of her concerns was of continuing is if I go back to my running community, they're going to see me and what are they going to think? Like I'm not as strong of a runner. And then other thoughts that went on in her head is, what's going to happen with my overall stress levels if I'm not running? This is my escape. What's going to happen with my fitness? What's going to happen with my body? And so she had a difficult time, and so several months passed, and eventually she found me, and what we did was we cleared up some of the issues with respect to her pelvic floor, but we quickly investigated what was going on with her running and what was going on with her movements and what strengths and not strengths she didn't have. So turns out that she didn't really appreciate the transformation that happens in one's body from postpartum to pregnant to pre-pregnancy, and then all the phases in between when you've had children before. And she went from having really good control over her body, a sense of feeling that she knew her body, to not recognizing her body almost, both physically and then the feel of it. So what we did was I basically ran her through a movement, I call it a movement testing, movement exam, and I basically walked her through and gave her the control of each movement and taught her how to move better and use her muscles differently, so she had a sense of control over her core. And the transformation that she made and the things that she learned along the way were unlike anything she expected, especially from a physical therapist. And what was helpful was that I was able to bridge that both the athletic piece of it, of having that control. I could talk about the women's health piece, and then running and the training around that was all exactly what she was looking for. So I found when I give my clients their control back and relate it to their sport, they soar, and that's what happened to her. So if this story resonates with you, if you're concerned about going back because rejoining your community and not being that same person, you're not alone. A lot of people are there. I was there with my previous issues. So I'm really looking forward to helping overcome those barriers and help you get stronger than you could ever thought imagined or you ever imagined.